it's me. No, I am not dead. Where have I been for a week? I was in America. I went to visit my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, and I went to, get engaged. But today, we're gonna be talking about the us versus them mentality, like the tribe mentality, group mentality, flock mentality, if you will, and how it's completely rotting the entertainment industry from the inside out. At least that's what I think. Like a banana left on a radiator for like a week. Because apparently, having your own opinion in 2025, that's basically like a revolutionary act. Like the Che Guevara could never. I used to think people loved art because it made them feel something, but now I feel like people love art because they feel included in a group chat. And if you don't feel exactly like everyone else, well, congratulations, you're sadly the villain in the story. Here's the thing. You used to be able to disagree with people. You used to be able to watch a movie or play a game and say, you know what, I like this character, but I thought the pacing or the writing or the voice acting was weird. And people would go, fair enough. Okay, let's agree to disagree. Now, if you say that nowadays, it feels like you punch someone's gay grandma in the face during Pride Month. Nuance, gone. Extinct. Fossilized under layers of hot takes and quote tweets. If your opinion doesn't fit neatly in a box, you're toast. And don't even think about changing your mind later. That's betrayal. Wait, you said you like episode 3 of this show back in 2021, and now you hate what they did with the characters? Pick a side, coward. What? As if people don't have evolving thoughts. As if growing and reconsidering things isn't, human. Let's be honest. Fandoms used to be chaotic good. You'd have a group of weirdos that would agree that a vampire and a werewolf had to kiss. And that was it, that was the vibe. But now it feels like you're joining a cult with a Discord server. You either agree with the dominant take or prepare to be flamed into oblivion. People are not even reacting to media anymore. They're reacting to other people reacting to their reaction. That's 3 layers of social anxiety in a trench coat. And what happens when everyone's afraid of being the odd one out? You get copy pasted takes, you get people parrying at each other's takes over and over again. You get YouTubers and Twitter warriors talking about a game, a movie, a show they probably haven't even watched or play and are pretending they did and having an opinion on it because, God forbid, they just come out and say, you know what, I don't know enough about this media to form an opinion yet. You cannot do that. It is exhausting. It's like high school lunch tables all over again, but with algorithmic consequences. Okay, so the communities are wild now, and here's the fun part. The industry is listening, and you would think like, oh, that's great, except they're not listening in the way we want them to listen. They're not listening to criticism, constructive criticism, and using that criticism to fix their media. They're listening to vocal minorities on the internet while saying, you know what, let's avoid controversy, let's avoid drama, let's just try to make a media that pleases everyone, which is impossible, while standing for nothing. What you get is content that feels like it was written with the HR department in the room with the writers. The shows and games are polished because in today's day and age, it's just very hard for them not to be, but they're also bloodless, soulless. They're just safe, sanitized. They're sanded down until nothing sticks out, which means they're also not going to stick with the audience. Every character has to be conventionally attractive, or you hate gamers. Every female character must be strong and independent, or you hate women. Even though most times that representation is just flatter than a pancake. Inclusivity is mandatory, but more often than not, it's just surface level and performative. It's just a diversity checklist with a side of stereotypes. And I know, I'm sorry, controversial take, but I don't want to watch or play something that feels like it just came out straight of a DEI seminar. I want to feel something, even if it's just confusion. But more often than not, this type of representation just leaves me bored. And here's where it all crashes down. Because when creators are trying to please everyone and audiences are too afraid of saying what they actually think, you don't get original, unique, interesting stories. You get media that is desperate to not offend anyone, which means it also doesn't inspire anyone. Art is supposed to be divisive. It's supposed to spark debate. You're not supposed to like every single character. You're supposed to get into arguments at 2 a.m. with your friends about whether that one character was justified in doing what he did or he wasn't. But right now, everyone is just afraid to color outside the lines. We get a sea of content that looks fine and it sounds fine, but the moment it's over, you just forget about it. And that's the real tragedy. Because when the loudest voices in the room are just parroting each other's takes and the industry listens to them, we all lose. We get bloated lineups of entertainment, but then maybe only 2 or 3 projects a year that are actually worth your time and your money. Now imagine a world where people could just say what they think. No performative outrage, no moral panic, no cloud chasing, no grifting, just honest human reaction to art. Imagine being able to say, you know what, I didn't like this female character, without the entire internet dogpiling you and trying to diagnose you with internalized misogyny. Imagine being able to say, you know what, I didn't like this game, but I'm glad you like it, without people accusing you of tone policing or fence-sitting. If we normalized individual thought, creators could actually learn from real feedback. Studios wouldn't pander to minorities and chase trends, they would actually chase engagement with their audience. And maybe, just maybe, would stop drowning in content that just tries to not offend anyone, but impresses even fewer. I'm not saying communities are bad. I love being a nerd. I love talking to people that get me and get my hobbies and get my obsession with something. But being part of a community shouldn't mean surrendering your personality for internet points. You're allowed to think for yourself. You're allowed to like what you like and dislike what you dislike and hate what you hate without being afraid of what your mutuals are gonna say about you. You're allowed to like what you like, even if your friends or your mutuals on Twitter hate it. You're allowed to dislike something without being labeled a hater. And yes, you're allowed to change your mind about something. You're allowed to hate something and grow up to love it down the road. Because you're human and taste changes. You're allowed to like something that you previously hated and hate something that you previously loved. It's happened to me. It's not called fence-sitting or being a contrarian or being a hater or being a shill. It's just called maturing. It's not a betrayal. It's not being a contrarian. Maybe you notice something about that piece of media that you didn't notice previously and that it's going to inform your opinion positive or negatively. It's just called being a human being. I know, shocking. So the next time that you're actually biting your tongue or being afraid of being the odd one out in a group of people that think and say the same thing, just say it. Maybe your opinion is the one that we want to hear. And if you lose followers over it, who cares? Trust me, nothing of value was lost.